I want to talk about Odegaard, Jez. Yeah, because seeing as we're going to be on a negative one and everyone's going to be upset, let's fucking take this prick apart as well then, because I can't stand him. Yeah, and I genuinely have not liked this guy since he was on loan with us. I don't see the hype around him. I've never got the hype around him. Real Madrid very, very, very rarely let a player go that goes on to excel. Very, very rarely. I can only think of Ronaldo. And did Ronaldo really excel when he left Real Madrid? Probably not. He didn't win the Champions League since he left. So we can't maybe even put Ronaldo in that bracket. I actually genuinely can't think of a player, maybe the chat can help out, that has left Real Madrid and gone on to better things. So if people are pinning their hopes on this guy to be the guy, the captain, the leader, the guy that's going to dictate play, and he's just a younger Mesut Ozil. Looks good on the ball, don't really do anything. Looks pretty though, like pretty pass here and there. Yeah, gets the odd assist and everyone creams their pants. What do you make of him? Because I thought he was shit again yesterday.
Yeah, he was poor. He did one good pass, split the defence for Saka to score the goal. Apart from that, all I saw was his name on the team sheet, and then I thought he disappeared. That's all I saw.
Oh, but he got an assist.
Well, okay. That's his job. He should be doing that, getting those incisive passes 4, 5, 6, 7 times a game. I remember having a midfield back in time, Arsenal, that we had players like that continually making those sort of defence splitting passes. And that was what you expect when you pay somebody 100 grand a week. I'm sorry, this guy is just not in my ilk. The man. I'm sorry, I don't. He's, yes, this season he has had a couple of decent games, but I just don't see the hype over this man. I really don't. Yeah, okay, you get the odd assist once or twice. No, I expect him to be commanding in that midfield, breaking into that 18-yard box and scoring regularly in games, 1 in 3 games, let's say. No, I'm not seeing that. So, no, I am being negative because I expect our team to have a strong midfield. Arsenal have always had decent midfields. Not always best, but our midfield at the moment, it was proven yesterday, was bloody awful. We couldn't hold on to the ball in the second half. They were getting overrun, and it was a shocking display. And we got lucky. We were very lucky. I've seen loads of people giving it the big one. Leeds United, it's a tough ground to go and play. Yes, it is a tough ground to go and play. But if you want to challenge to win the Premier League, you have to man up a little bit. Because Leeds came on us straight from the start for 1.5 minutes, and then we rested for 45, and then they came back to us again. And it was that second half, Lee, Kenny, was a bloody embarrassment. I was sat here thinking, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Bamford gets that penalty, slots it wide. We got away with it. We got out of jail yesterday, and so bigging up our midfield yesterday in Odegaard and, dare I say it, my favourite player, Granit Xhaka. No. We need better. Because we ain't going to win the Premier League with a midfield like that. Simple.
I 100% agree with you, mate. Literally, we had no midfield yesterday. We've seen him do this a lot, though. He done it for, I said this last week, the Liverpool second goal. He was just pavement bopping, just jumping up and down, in the centre circle, and Henderson walked straight past him. And this is the guy that is apparently supposed to lead the press. Well, he weren't leading no press yesterday. He was getting pressed, and he flopped. And this is the thing, like, it always seems like he's okay at home, not very good away. And we've had this with a certain Mesut Ozil, mate.
Yeah, Mesut Ozil. I do recall that gentleman. Yes, I do.
Yeah, we've seen him disappear away to the point where he just didn't even bother travelling to away games in the end. Anywhere north of Watford Gap, he was like, "Nah, I'm out of here, mate. See you later." Yeah, but for somebody that is nearly 24 years old, like, this guy is really, really flattered to deceive me, mate. I can't lie. Yeah, Odegaard for me is just not good enough. Yeah, and he does just enough aesthetically pleasing on the eye with some nice little passes that he'll get a 7 out of 10 most weeks. But what does he actually do? Like, I'm baffled. He's 24. He's 24 in 6 weeks. In fact, sorry, I'm lying. It's 2 months today. He's 24. 24 years old. He's been playing football since he was 15 for first team football. So he's been playing first team football for 9 years, and this is the end product of that. You're not going to get much better. He's not going to grow that much better that he's suddenly going to flourish into a 15 goal a season, man, because that means he's got to totally rip up what he's doing. If we want to compete and win titles, the bozo gene at centre back and this guy need binning ASAP. But Kenny, what do you make of him? You see him live a hell of a lot more than I have.
Well, the thing is, first and foremost, Sean Bradders, I know you watch us, man. I just saw you. You know, Sean, I know you watch us. Thanks for watching. We're all big fan of yours as well. So I want to say this as well. Simple. Obviously, Jez, we didn't know you at the time, but myself and Lee, we had very high standards and high expectations of Mesut Ozil. And one of the things that we criticised Mesut for was the fact that we knew that Mesut, you know, there were times when Mesut would create a few chances here and there and probably create an assist. But what we wanted from Mesut Ozil was the work rate and the consistency. And we didn't let up on Mesut Ozil. So when we're seeing the same things with Odegaard, we're not going to just make allowances for him, because obviously, yes, he works hard. Well, you play for Mikel Arteta, you've got to work a lot harder than Mesut Ozil did, or you'll be out of the team like Mesut. But there's no doubt in my mind, since last month, September, there's been a bit of a pattern where he hasn't been completing games and he has fading in football matches. Don't get me wrong. When we started games, you know, he does some good assists. Did a good assist for Gabriel for the first game against Liverpool. Good assist for Saka's goal, where Saka wins the ball back, wins the header, then he lays it off to Odegaard. Odegaard does a 1-2 splits to Leeds defence, going around roof of the net. But that's just not enough. And you know, the annoying pre-assist merchants, you know, I wasn't accepting that from Mesut Ozil, so I'm not going to accept it from my Odegaard, because I say it once, I say it 1,000 times. When you have a player like that, they are the players who are going to be the teams that when teams have a low block, defending numbers, they're the players we need to kind of open teams up. And if you can't do that on a consistent basis, or you become a bit of a passenger in a game, then it's got to be noted. Now, it's easy to say, "Oh, you lot are being harsh," but hang on here. The most important person, the manager, substituted him. He substituted him against Tottenham, substituted against Liverpool, substituted him on Thursday, substituted him against Leeds. I believe he was substituted in previous games before that. Now, that's not a good look. Now, if you're carrying an injury, I don't know if you're carrying an injury, but so because I don't think you're carrying an injury, and I don't. I've got Bradders. I play the piano because I don't think you're carrying an injury. I've got to look at your form, and your form is dropped off, because you know we are in a position where we are the team in possession. Now, come May or come January, if we believe we're vying for the championship, we need to have players on form. We can't carry players on reputation. You know, there's going to be a situation where in the games in the new year, there's going to be times when teams are going to think, you know what, we're playing Arsenal, they're going for a championship, we're not going to give them a give me, we're going to put men behind the ball, hit them the counter attack. You know, we're going to defend deep. You're going to need a player like him to open that door and put his hand up and be an hero. And right now, the reason why we're nitpicking is because, you know, our standards is either win a title or challenge for it or ship out. Top four's not what I'm up about. You know, Arsenal's not a top four team. It's the team that should be challenged for the title and should be winning the title.
Sorry to cut you off. The problem is when you've got ex-players that wheel out merchandise on a regular basis, saying top four is the aim. When you've got four of our first team squad sitting in pre-season telling the world top four is the aim. Yeah, when you've got that happening, then you've got these puppet journalists that sit there banging on about top four. Then you have other ex-players that go and sit on TalkSport saying top four. Unfortunately, that goes out to a massive, wide audience of millions and millions of people that sit there and say, oh, well, Arsenal were unlucky last season not to get top four, but nobody expected them to. This year, it's okay. Well, now let's kick on and let's get top four. You can't just go from fifth to win a title.
Not at all.
But when people are brainwashed into thinking that, Kenny, and you've got that personalities of our club saying that, ex-players, etc., then that is going to be put out. Why is it the narrative within our fan base this season is get top four, we'll win the Europa League? Why? Because 4 of our first team players said it in pre-season to the public, to the media.
I hate you saying
if they just go and win the title, the narrative would be in our fan base, we're going to go for the title. So they're very impressionable by what the players say.
But I don't think it's the players. I think it's the mentality of the fans, because it's not just us. You look at if you look at the start of the Premiership, Man United, the most dominant club in the dominant club in English football, and afterwards when Abramovich came, Chelsea became a bit of a dominant club. Now there's been periods since Sir Alex has left Man United, and since periods where Chelsea are down tools, where you never expect this Chelsea to talk about the top four, or the Man United to talk about the top four, because they, as far as they're concerned, they should be winning the title. And I've never been comfortable with Arsenal talking about the top four at all. And I think people talk about the top four, but as far as I'm concerned, if you're a big club with a big reputation, or you're a big spending club, to get in the top four, I just think it's just an example of lack of ambition, really. That's a given. You should be in the top four. You're the best teams in the country with biggest spending clubs with the best players. It's a given. You should be in the Champions League. Now, if people say we've got no right to be in it, well, why not? Why support Arsenal for? Why did you support Arsenal in the first place? 9 out of 10 times, you would have supported a club in the modern day age because of the club was successful. And I'm not saying everyone does that, because there are some good people who will support their local club, or might support their club because their grandfather passed on the traditions of supporting the football club. But I have to assume, rightly or wrongly, modern football fans are attracted to clubs that win trophies. So if that's the case, then I find it just strange that we're celebrating the top four, because if you're celebrating the top four because you think it's a great achievement, then I beg to differ in that. If you're celebrating the top four because it's Tottenham, then again I beg to differ in that, because I've heard Spurs fans who, at the time, I thought they had the audacity, but this is their ambition. They don't want the top four. They want something bigger than that. So if they're saying it, why is the third biggest club in the country, support, saying top four? Because, sorry, that's not an achievement. Winning the titles.
The funny thing about it is, Kenny, is we did top four for 20 years. What did it do for us, apart from lower the standards of the club? Yeah, all it did was, let's just go past around Europe like a peace pipe. Oh, look, we've got Barcelona again. Oh, look, we're going to get slapped by Bayern. Yeah, well, we had a better manager and better players back then, and we were getting pumped. What makes anybody think that if we got into the Champions League, we'd go on and win it? Because if that ain't the aim to go on and win it, then I couldn't give a shit about it. Yeah, real talk. Yeah, what's the aim? The aim isn't to finish third loser. The aim is to go and win the title. It's to go and win the trophy. It's go and win the FA Cup. It's go and win the Champions League. And people say, yeah, but you can't just go from 5th to 1st. Well, you can. I've seen Chelsea go from 10th to 1st. I've seen Leicester go from relegation fodder to win it. Yeah, I've seen Atletico Madrid do it in their league. I've seen AC Milan do it last season in their league. Yeah, that's the first time they've won a title in 10 years or broke up the dominance for 10 years or whatever. It is possible. It is doable. You can actually compete if you do what's required. Just very quickly, before we move on, about Odegaard, because I see somebody putting about Odegaard creates chances. This season, he's created 3 big chances in 9 games. Danny Welbeck has 4. Pascal Gross has 6. They both play for Brighton. Leon Bailey plays for Aston Villa. He's got 4. Eze has 4. These are teams that are right down the bottom, by the way. Jack Harrison has 5. Marcus Rashford has 4. Ward-Prowse plays for relegation-threatened Southampton, has 4. Gabriel Jesus has 3. Martinelli has 4. But the creative spark we've always been missing is behind all of these players. Harvey Elliott has barely kicked a ball this season and has the same amount of big chances created. So this whole, he creates this, he creates that. Nah, I've heard all of this shit with Mesut Ozil. This footballer is not very good.